Hello, federal employees. It is so good again to be with you today. Today is going to be a little different. I am actually traveling. It is around Thanksgiving. I am with family, so I do not have my regular gear. So I am going to give you a little different experience. And if you're on the podcast, hopefully the audio is not too bad. Because like I said, different gear. So let's jump right in. Today I'm going to talk about the new TSP spillover provision that is going to happen in 2021. Now, if you have not heard about it, let me give you the basic summary. Okay. So the TSP is trying to simplify your life. Yay, right? We always love it when the government is trying to simplify and make things easier. That's what we love to hear. So basically, this was the rub. Beforehand, if you were over 50, you can make what they call catch-up contributions. Basically, for anyone under 50, the limit to the TSP, how much you can put in, is $19,500 a year, at least in 2020. That limit changes every year, but for 2020, that is the limit. Now, if you're over 50, you can put in catch-up contributions. For 2020, that is an extra $6,500 for a total of $26,000 into your TSP. Up to this point, if you were over 50 and if you wanted to put in catch-up contributions, that was a separate form. So you had to fill out an election for your regular contributions and then another election for catch-up contributions. Now, they are simplifying it so there is one election. And if you end up putting more than the regular limit, which is the $19,500, if you end up putting more than that, then it's just going to spill over automatically as catch-up contributions. That's how it's going to work. Now, one of the main reasons that they did this is because people didn't understand exactly what things meant and how things worked. And as a result, some people would not get their full match because they didn't quite understand how this all worked. So let's go through an example of how someone in the old system and in the new system, how someone will not get the full match if they do things a certain way. So the goal by the end of this is for you to clearly understand right now what you have to do, and in the new system in 2021, when the spillover provision comes into effect, what you have to do as a federal employee to get the full agency match, because you don't want to leave any free money on the table that you can get just by tweaking a few little things. Okay, so let's jump right in. So let's talk about George. George is our example federal employee. He's over 50, so he's eligible for catch-up contributions, and he decides to put in $800 a pay period as normal contributions, and then he also wants to put $100 as catch-up contributions per pay period. That's awesome. That's great. Unfortunately, George, under the current rules, not the new rules in 2021, the current rules would not get the full match. And let me tell you why. Because he is putting $800 per pay period of regular contributions, there are about 26 pay periods in a year, right? 26. So if you put $800 per pay period, he's going to hit the regular limit of $19,500 before the end of the year, before the last pay period. He's going to have a couple pay periods left when he hits that limit. So guess what? He can't put in any more regular contributions in the last pay periods. Now, the match is given per pay period. So if you don't invest at least 5% of your salary as regular contributions per pay period, guess what? You don't get a match and you leave money on the table. So by putting a little too much as regular contributions, George forfeited a couple pay periods of the match. Even though he didn't go over the total limit that he had of $26,000, just because he did his math wrong and put a little too much as regular contributions and not quite enough as catch-up contributions, he was not eligible for the full match. That's just how it works. Now, that's the old system. So you might ask, okay, in the new system, 2021, how do we make sure we don't mess this up? So it is simpler in the new system because you only have one form. But basically how it works is, like I said, it will automatically spill over to matching contributions. And your agency will match on the catch-up contributions just like it will on the regular contributions. So, what you still don't want to do, the one way you will not get the full match, is if you put too much in the TSP too early. Again, you have to put at least 5% of your salary into the TSP every pay period. So even with the spillover provision, if there's just one form to fill out, but if you put in too much too early and you're not putting at least 5% of your salary every pay period, then you're not going to get the full match. Let me show you this on this other screen here. It's just an Excel sheet for those on the podcast. Basically, right now in 2020, these limits change. Next year it's going to be the same limit, but in 2022, we don't know what the limits are going to be for the TSP. This year, for those 50 and above, you can put in $26,000 into the TSP total with catch-up contributions. So that means all you have to do is take that limit, the $26,000, and divide it by 26, as I did here, and you will get $1,000 per pay period is what you should contribute into the TSP if you want to max it out and get your full match. If you put, let's say, $1,200 per pay period, well, you're going to max it out early, and you're going to have pay periods where you're not putting 5% into the TSP. So hopefully that makes sense. Like I said, go to this website, just type in TSP contribution limits. You'll find this. Every year, this thing's going to change. It could stay the same, but they can change every year. For example, in 2021, these limits are not going to change. But in 2022, they just might. So you want to check every year as you make your elections, as you make these decisions, to make sure that you are going to get the most out of your TSP, get the full match, and set yourself up for success. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, hopefully this audio is okay. And you guys have a great rest of your week, great rest of your month. It's the holiday time, November, December of 2020 when I'm recording this. So hopefully you guys are safe, having a great time with family, with friends, enjoying the holidays, and getting the most out of your benefits. So have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.